Good evening, I'm Matt White and thanks for joining us. Well, she's the overnight singing success story who's actually been on the path to glory for most of her young life. Australia now knows about the amazing voice of blind singer Rachel Leahcar. But as Lynda Kinkade reports, she's already wowed audiences around the world, thanks to a music promoter who knew she was always going to be the next big thing.
The microphone is my best friend. Everything about my vision and everything about me that's vulnerable goes out the door.
Just that voice, it was just like an angel. It was like, wow.
I knew that she would be a big star for the moment I hear her singing.
Rachel's ambition is to sing to a packed crowd of...
From 12 years of age, Rachel Leahcar had a dream of singing before a massive audience. Last night, Rachel stunned the country, bringing many to tears. Performing Edith Piaf's famous classic, the now 18-year-old was rewarded with a standing ovation.
I don't actually know if anyone turned around because I'm legally blind.
The irony of a blind audition was not lost on Rachel. She was born with a degenerative eye condition called retinitis pigmentosa, a condition robbing her of more than 90% of her sight.
Eventually, over time, they may progressively lose their vision, so they become totally blind.
Rachel began playing flute at the age of 5 and took up piano at 9. By the time she became a teenager, she was performing in singing competitions all around her hometown of Adelaide. It was this man, Dino Perizzi, who first discovered this talent at age 15.
Mamma mia, what a voice!
The 83-year-old Italian music promoter held a singing contest in 2009 and invited her along.
And I thought, what a big star, she's going to be a great star.
Her first prize was a return trip to Rome to perform on Italian television. The breakfast show attracting 25 million viewers.
I'm very proud that I've been able to help her. She's a fantastic singer.
Strongly supported by the Italian community of South Australia, Rachel has scratched out a living performing professionally at weddings and in pubs and clubs. Her family's support has been constant.
Traditionally, talent scouts, A&R men from record companies go look at perfectly formed, perfectly moulded, rounded and presented artists.
Music historian Glenn A. Baker says a talent and a story like hers is a producer's dream.
When they become exposed to people like that, the connection is immediate. The bond is extraordinary.
Rachel's performance last night was just absolutely outstanding.
Paralympian Jared Gossens is a special projects manager for Vision Australia.
She wanted to be judged as a person for her voice, not for her vision impairment.
Rachel successfully applied for speech pathology at Flinders University this year, but she's decided to defer the course, focusing on her music. Not a bad idea with her covers already attracting sales on iTunes. The Voice's Delta Goodrem will now be her mentor as she proceeds through to the next reality round.
I was like, no way. That's just crazy.
What's your name?
Cody Bell.
On the same night, Australia's Got Talent discovered another potential star, another amazing story.
Lately I have had a stranger's feeling.
Bullied and belittled at school, Cody Bell's size made him a target for cruel comments and vicious taunts.
Pretty much ruined the first 3 years of my high schooling life. I got depression.
As an only child living with mum Tanya, Cody kept to himself, too scared sometimes to even go to school.
I don't ever want him to go through that again, so it's very hard.
It just makes you feel very bad, you know. It's like people don't even know me, but yet they can call me these names.
Music was his only escape, and it seems his saving grace.
I wish nothing but the best for you.
I made the choice to get singing lessons about a year ago. I thought that it would be better for me and help me develop my skills more.
Last night, this was the turning point.
Goodbye.
You had the audience eating out of the palm of your hand. What did that feel like?
Didn't think I'd wow them, but I thought that I would have done a good job, but I didn't expect the reaction that I got.
The singing lessons are paying off. The 18-year-old from Melbourne is through to the next round.
You deserve this. A huge yes.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by.
And it's the unlikely stars, the unexpected voice, the talent that triumphs over adversity that we remember and ultimately take into our hearts. The biggest, most unlikeliest talent show star of all time, Susan Boyle.
Life has killed the dream.
Ridiculed for her dowdy appearance and lack of star quality, Susan's talent soon trumped the negative first impressions, even wiping the scowl off Simon Cowell.
The whole audience wanted more of him. They were stamping their feet because the clapping wasn't enough.
Listen to the audience.
Last year, it was young Emmanuel Kelly who reduced the Australia's Got Talent judges to tears and brought the crowd to their feet.
I don't have a birth certificate, I don't have a surname, nothing. In some ways people say I'm a man without an identity.
Born into warfare without arms or legs, Emmanuel was found abandoned by his parents, left in a shoebox in a park in Baghdad.
I remember the first time I knocked on the door and they welcomed me with a song.
Hearty, hearty welcome, hearty, hearty welcome.
The country fell in love with Emmanuel's Australian adopted mother too, Moira Kelly, who brought Emmanuel and his brother Ahmed back to Australia for surgery and a new life.
Could look at them as being very disfigured, but to me they were just so perfect.
You don't have to be good looking or perfect looking, you just have to have a voice.
In the last few months, he's helped to co-write and perform an aptly named song called Dream Big for upcoming Hollywood flick Crooked Arrows.
I'm just here to prove a point that if you have a dream, go on and do it, because God will always put a hero inside of you.
2 years ago, we found a hero in Karl Demarchik.
I never really thought that I'd actually come this far because of my previous cancer.
What form of cancer did you have?
I had tongue cancer.
Wow. Karl had been told by doctors he'd never talk again after losing half his tongue to cancer.
It started off as an ulcer in my tongue.
Despite his obvious disability, his performance was a showstopper.
I just want to prove a point and prove to myself that anything is possible.
I feel terrible to say this, but it was appalling.
But not all the judges see past the shortcomings. As blind contestant on Dancing with the Stars, Jared Gossens found out on his debut performance in 2009. Despite winning over the crowd, Judge Todd McKenny let loose with a barrage of criticism.
Dancers hunched over like a little old man lot. You're not a great dancer. It was awkward, there wasn't enough hip action in it, and it was very, very stilted.
When it does come down to the public vote, which it does down the track in The Voice, the people still support these people.
Indeed, TV writer and commentator Peter Timms warns that while their backstories may have people talking overnight, it's the talent that inevitably takes centre stage.
Do we really remember that inspirational story 6 weeks down the track when it is a proper singing competition and these people's voices maybe aren't as strong, their stories are still strong, but they've disappeared, they've gone away, and the strong voices actually come through.
As for Rachel, her story continues. And with Delta Goodrem by her side and a nation on her side, her backstory could soon be legendary.
Let's hope that she can learn and move forward with Delta during this whole journey of hers, and by the time the public do come to vote, they don't forget where she came from.
It certainly is a wonderful story. That was Lynda Kinkade reporting. Amazing to think there is so much talent in this country. Well, retail theft costs Australia